and welcome to Kids Time at Home. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Miss Randi. I'm a children's librarian with the San Antonio Public Library. This summer, we are inviting you to imagine mythical creatures, fairy tales, and other fantastic possibilities. Today, I want to enter the world of the fractured fairy tale with you. A fractured fairy tale is sometimes called a fairy tale parody. And the author of the fractured fairy tale takes the original story and changes or exaggerates certain parts of it, and it usually makes it really, really funny. So first I want to start off with you helping me to tell the story of the Frog Prince. So let's start off with Once Upon a Time. So once upon a time, there was a princess who had a golden ball that she just loved to play with. And one day, she's playing with her golden ball near a very deep pond. She throws it high up in the air, and she throws it so high and so far that it lands in the pond and sinks to the bottom. And the princess, seeing that she can't get to the ball, starts crying. Oh, my ball, my golden ball, I'll never see it ever again. What am I gonna do? I would give everything I have, all my fine clothes, all my jewels, if I could just get my ball back. And about that time, a frog pops his head up out of the pond and says, "No, you could get it back. I could help you." And she's like, "Okay, well, I don't know if that's going to really happen." He says, "Well, I don't want any fine clothes and I don't want any jewels. I want you to take me home and put me next to your plate when you eat your meals and put me on your pillow at night to sleep with you in your bed." Well, the princess thinks that's kind of crazy. First of all, that idea of taking him home is like, that ain't happening. And then she figures, how is that frog going to get down under the water and bring the ball up? I just don't know if he's going to be able to do that. But he might be able to do it. So I'm going to pretend to promise him that I'll do what he wants. And so she does. And the frog brings the ball up, and she grabs the ball and she runs back to the palace, never intending to ever fulfill her promise. And so she goes about her business at the palace. But one evening, she's having dinner with the king. And they hear this slippery shuffling footsteps on their staircase. And wouldn't you know it, it's the frog. He's back. And is here to remind her of her promise. Well, the princess just tries to ignore him. But the king wants to know why he's there. And so the princess has to tell him the whole golden ball incident. And he tells her, "Excuse me, but you made a promise and you've got to keep your word. So you have to do what he says." So she picks the frog up. She's shuddering the whole time. She's like, "Oh, this is so gross. It's so creepy." She picks the frog up. She puts it next to her plate. She lets it eat there. And then when it's bedtime, she takes him and she puts him on her pillow. And this whole time she's like, freaking out. And this goes on for several months. She's always got him there when she eats. She puts him there in her bed at night. And before you know it, she's fallen in love with the frog. OMG, she's fallen in love with him. And one night she's got her head back and she's thinking about him and she looks over and sees him and she reaches out and kisses him. And the frog disappears, and at the foot of her bed is standing a very handsome prince. And he explains that this wicked fairy had put a spell on him and turned him into a frog, and he would not turn back into a handsome prince unless somebody fell in love with him. And since she has broken the spell, they live happily ever after, get married and live happily ever after. And that's the story of the Frog Prince. Well, in this story, called Kiss Me, I'm a Prince, by Heather McLeod and illustrated by Brooke Kerrigan, the author replaces the princess with this little girl named Ella, who doesn't have a golden ball, but she loves to play basketball. And she wears this red ball cap on her head backwards. And one day when she's at the basketball court, she does indeed see this frog that has a crown on his head. And he says, "Kiss me, and I'll turn into a prince." Well, Ella, you would think Ella would want to do that, right? She wants to become a princess, I'm sure. But no. Ella asks him, "If I kiss you, well then what? Then what happens? I become a princess, but what does a princess do all day? And what does a prince do all day? And how do they have to dress and all?" And so the frog tells her, well, she decides that she doesn't want to have a handsome prince. She doesn't want to live a life of royalty. She just wants a talking frog. And through Ella, the frog learns about a whole new world that beats the life of royalty hands down. And Ella does eventually kiss the frog, but for a very different reason than in the original story. This book is available in print for putting on hold and picking up at any San Antonio Public Library location. After you read that book, you might want to consider writing your own fractured fairy tale. And for that, I recommend this book called How to Write a Fractured Fairy Tale by Nell Gomkoff. Step-by-step instructions about how to write your own. In many fairy tales, a character in the fairy tale will wave a magic wand. The fairy godmother has a magic wand, or even the wicked fairy has a magic wand. And we're going to make one of those today. I've got some supplies here. You can make a star if you would like. I made mine out of some thick paper, but whatever paper you have around the house will work. You can cut yourself out a star. You need a straw, some scissors, a glue stick, some sort of glue, a little bit of ribbon, and I have some sequins that I'm going to use to decorate with. The first thing you want to do is put glue stick all over your star, and then put your sequins on your star like that. Then you'll want to get your straw, put some glue on it, and attach your straw to the star. You have to let this dry for a little while before you do the next part. You're going to take your ribbon and tie it around your straw like that. And if you'd like, you can get an adult to help you to curl the ribbon with scissors like that. You have your magic wand. Use your imagination, see what kind of magic you can create with your own magic wand. For more information, log on to mysapl.org or call 210-207-2500.